Hi everyone, it's Jono here. Welcome back for another video. I'm just very sorry that I haven't made any vlogs or video for a while. I say that at the beginning of every single video that I put out, but I do mean it. But however, I got some really exciting news. I've got a brand new laptop that I always wanted to purchase one. I just want to show and discuss about why I purchased the 2022 Asus G15 from my own perspective and as a consumer point of view. This is not going to be a full product review by all means. It's just going to be describing me as a regular consumer, and I want to share my thoughts and my purchasing experience. So what I upgraded from, I've always been a desktop user. Current desktop rig is X470, AMD CPU 3700X, RTX 2070 Super, 64 gigabytes of RAM, Nvme .2 drive, and what I use and what I need for my laptop. From my laptop, I'm a 3D production graduate using some of the most common 3D softwares such as Maya, Blender, ZBrush, Houdini, Substance Painter, and rendering accordingly. And I'm a casual gamer. I love gaming, and I love editing videos and drone footages as well, just for my personal hobby. Purchasing factors and decisions. This is quite important for everyone. Before you go and buy a new laptop, I really think that you should make these into your factors and your decisions as well. So for my personal decisions, I had a really long thought whether if I should get a good laptop replacement for work and home. I've always wanted a single computer. I didn't need to have two separate machines, like laptop on the go and desktop at home. You know, I really want to have all the softwares and files in one place. There are some requirements for me to make the purchasing decision. One is CPU. It must be fast enough for rendering and productivity. Two, must have a good amount of RAM. I prefer 64 gigabytes just for rendering purposes and, you know, opening lots of things at the same time so it doesn't go slow or crash. 3, NVIDIA GPU for rendering. NVIDIA GPU is just better at the moment with all the CUDAs and optics. It's better than AMD at the moment for most rendering. 4, portability. It doesn't really need to have super high portability, but somewhat portable to move around places, a place or two places in a day. When I take it to work and come back home, that's it. Good battery life with iGPU unplugged. Mux switch as a must-have in 2022. Can switch between iGPU and DGPU. Set good color accuracy screen for editing videos and photos, and also for gaming as well. Who doesn't love that? Ideal options and availabilities. Okay, I think this is the part where a lot of YouTubers and other reviewers or anyone who you watch online don't really talk about this section. Even as a big company like Asus, you know, Apple, Samsung, with the current pandemic and supply chains issues, it's very difficult to supply most countries around the world. And as part of a small country that I live in New Zealand, we're definitely not Asus first of choice when it comes to supplies. So I looked at a few options and I've done some research and compared them. At the moment, this is what we have available in New Zealand at the time of my purchase, which is like a week ago. It's the G14 2021, G14 2022, G15 2021, and the 2022 model. Got an M16 here as well, and the Razer Blade 14 2022 model and the 21 model, and Lenovo Legion i5 Pro, and also the MacBook Pro 14 and 16. I'm just gonna go over, you know, really quickly for each machines and models, you know, previous gen and current gen, and I'm going to talk about the G14 2021 model first. So the 2021 G14 actually has one of the highest rating when it comes to a 14-inch gaming laptop for the past few years, no doubt. I think it's one of the best, if not the best already. You know, ultra portable, thin and light, amazing, discounted price for the 2021 model. Good battery life with RTX 3060 GPU. You know, I really had a long thought about this model because I really wanted the ultra portability with this laptop and the Nvidia GPU for faster rendering time. But I thought to myself, you know, why would I purchase an older gen without the mux switch, webcam, no PCIe Gen 4, no Wi-Fi 6E, no high-speed DDR5 memory, and no Windows Hello camera as well. So I almost bought this, but at the end of the day, you know, as the older gen, why do I want to spend so much money on the older gen? So it was a pass. G14 2022 looks really good on papers. New 16:10 screen, updated AMD CPU and GPU, so it's like a full AMD system. Better speakers, placements, mux switch, webcam, Windows 11 Hello, IR scanner, basically everything that the 2021 model ever need to make this to the almost perfect laptop. I was like 95% on the edge of getting this laptop when I compared to the G15 model in the shop, like very close. But I did some more research. Very luckily, the 6700S GPU in this laptop, it was just not good enough for my 3D rendering workflow. As I've mentioned before, Nvidia is still miles ahead better when it comes to rendering. So yeah, this was a pass. But just like seriously, this thing looked actually really good in the shop, and yeah, man, it can play any games, no problem. The CPU is fast and everything, so I almost purchased this. G15 2021, same thoughts, same idea, same principles with the G14 2021 model. Older gen, without mux switch, webcam, PCIe Gen 4, Wi-Fi 6E, DDR5 memory, you know, no Windows Hello IR camera. So yeah, it was just not what I was, you know, after. When you buy stuff, you know, you always get the latest gen, man, even though it's just a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. But in New Zealand, we had the RTX 3080 model in stock. It's the graphics card. Okay, so I almost bought this as well. I researched and found out that the 3080 GPU in this laptop was only using 80 watts. If you didn't know, you know, 80 watts is quite low for a GPU, so it wasn't really performing like the 3080 desktop variant. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag with this GPU. It's in some cases it's like a 3070, you know, if not slower, because of the wattages of the power that it uses. So but the 3080 really interests me, man. Like 3080 is the 3080, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know, 3080 was not cheap as well, so just have to give this a pass, unfortunately. The G15 2022 model, the place where in New Zealand at least, we only had the white model available at the time of my purchase. But the only downside, okay, the biggest downside, it came with the RTX 3060 6GB VRAM model. And initially I wanted the dark gray model. I didn't want a white version because obviously white, you know, gets dirty very kind of easier if you don't look after it. And secondly, it didn't have the 16:10 screen aspect ratio like the new G15 and the M16. And two more important points that really put me off was, one is because it's a 3060 GPU. I know that this is not really future proving in 2022 now. You know, a lot of games and AAA titles uses 8GB of VRAM rather than just 6. The 2022 model in most regions, or at least in the States, it comes with 3070 Ti even, so this is like a big jump when it comes to gaming performance. This is what we get. We just have to deal with things sometimes. So the second most important point that I think is the biggest letdown of this G15 2022 is the screen. You know, as a QHD screen, everything is good. sRGB 100%, DCI EP3 color gamut 100%. As a Pantone display by Asus, but however the brightness, it's honestly a bummer. I wouldn't say it's bad, but you know, and 2022 now we are in, having only 300 to 350 nits of brightness, which is kind of okay. You know, unlike the M16, you know, it gets up to 300, it gets up to 500 nits, which is a huge difference. You know, it's noticeably not bright enough even in some regular office lighting environments when I take it to work. You know, it was on full brightness. I can't say it's dark and dull. It's still vibrant, it's still bright, but if I had to nitpick, it is the screen brightness. And with the Asus M16, very sadly that the 2022 model sold out really quickly. I didn't even know. It just sold out, boom, gone. I only seriously, I think Asus only provided us with a few model. Like what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think the only downside that put me off on this laptop is the Intel GPU, because it's nowhere as power efficient as Ryzen's. End of story. It's just Ryzen, when it comes to unplugged power, is still the king. The power efficiency is really nice actually. So I had to pass, unfortunately, but I personally think if I had the choice of buying the 2022 model, if it was available, I would probably have gone for it. First is because of the 16:10 screen. Secondly, is the screen, is the 500 nit brightness. It's yeah, and the GPU obviously is like 3070 Ti or 3080. Yeah, but anyway, I'm still quite happy with my G15 regardless. Lenovo Legion i5 or the Pro. I saw a lot of reviews and people were comparing this to the G15 or the M16, but in most cases Legion actually performs better though. But however, they are bigger and larger in so many ways, so I don't think it's fair to compare the Legion to the Asus. And Legion has a full-size keyboard, including the numpad. For some people it's good, but for my personal taste, I actually don't need it and I don't want it. It just takes up so much space. But if I had to choose between this and the M16 model, to be honest, I would still go with the M16 or even the G15. Razer Blade 14 2022, the newest model. It's actually very good. I was very tempted as well. Newest model, 3070 Ti, QHD screen, 165 Hz as well. I think the screen is actually brighter than the G15 that I have. And 6900 HX Ryzen AMDs. But only downside of this laptop, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Dude, and it's not upgradable. If it was upgradable, it's fine. I'll probably, you know, if I really like it, if I really want this laptop, I'll invest in it. But it's not upgradable. 16 gigabytes of RAM. Come on, Razer, like what are you thinking? It's 2022 and you put a powerful laptop, but you only put 16 gigabytes of RAM. Come on, man. And look at the price of this laptop, $5,200. 16 gigabytes of RAM. That is just not on. Like, you make this beautiful quality, high quality laptop, but you only put 16 gigabytes of RAM in there and it's not upgradable. Like, no matter how much I want this, my common sense just tells me that don't get it. It's like, I just don't know what to say, guys. MacBook Pro 16, 14. I knew this wasn't the right decision for me because I know not many games and gaming platforms actually supports Mac OS. But we really have to admit this MacBook Pro. This thing, it's actually really powerful and it's very power efficiency and silent. Like the fans hardly kick in, which is really good. Like it's just a machine on its own league. Like you can't really compare it. But anyway, I wanted to game on the side and everything, so yeah, just have to give this thing a pass. And plus, even if I wanted to buy one, I had to wait 7 to 9 weeks just for some more stocks to arrive into the country. So yep, it was out of the water. So after I've looked at what was available on the market and the actual available options. I've spent about a week thinking which one to go for. I did tons and tons and tons of research over and over again. I had to go with this G15 2022 model according to what I need personally. YouTubers and reviewers can only tell you so much about a product, and they get sent product samples with the best model of the products. So, you know, with the G15, they probably had the best Ryzen CPU and the best GPU, the 3070 Ti or even the 3080 Ti or the 80, like, you know. Also, this is something that you have to look out for. Not all regions have the best and the highest configuration models. So in New Zealand, at the time of my purchase with the 2022 G15, I only had the 3060 GPU with 6 gigabytes of VRAM. So this is something that you have to think for yourself. You have to weigh things out, what you need, and you know what you can compromise and whatnot. At the end of the day, man, it really depends on you to decide what you really need and what you want for your personal need. Listening to reviews and guides are important, but it really comes down to you. Don't be afraid to spend some time to figure out what you need. Actually do research, tons and tons of research. Look what's available on the market. Think again of what you need out of a laptop, and I just can't stress how important this part is. So yeah, this is my beginning of my journey of my G15 2022 model. I purchased it with my own money, and it's not sponsored by Asus, so everything I've talked about is just purely from me and my own perspective as a consumer. I hope this video helped you out and entertained you in some ways. I'll be making more videos, and with this laptop, the gaming performances, follow-up videos, underfaulting the CPU, maximizing the CPU and the GPU in games without extreme amount of heat. Yeah, I hope you liked it, man. And just make sure you like and sub if you want to see more videos like that. They will help out the channel and motivate me to make more future videos. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace out.